Okay, so here's 3 tips for budgeting. Number 1, I reckon the best thing to do for a first-time budgeter is to get yourself a really good app on your phone or your tablet or whatever it is that you use. Now there's plenty of them out there. I use a particular app called Pocketbook, but there are others that you can use. Now you can link these directly into the bank account that you use, and you can set up each expense as to what category it is and all that sort of stuff. Now after a 3-month or 6-month period at the most, you'll pretty much know to the dollar how much you need for all of these different categories. So it might be an expense such as your utilities, so your gas and electricity or your phone or whatever the case may be. That will give you a really good understanding of what your core expenses are, and that's really important to know because then we can build on your core expenses and look for things like your lifestyle and your savings goals. So tip number 2, and this is a really important one as well. Give yourself a reward every time you reach a savings milestone. So the aim of the game for budgeting is obviously not to spend more than you earn, but it's also to save a bit of money at the end of the day. So if your goal is to get to 10,000 bucks, then maybe give yourself a bit of a reward every time you get to $1,500 and $3,000 or $2,000 and $4,000 or whatever it actually is. Make sure that you reward yourself for that period, so that you've done something that you wouldn't ordinarily have done. It's time to reward yourself. Tip number 3, get yourself a separate bank account from the one that you ordinarily use and the one that your income goes into, and make sure that on payday you have a direct debit from that account into this separate savings account. Now you'll need to know something about your budget before you do this, because otherwise you won't know how much is an optimum amount to put into that bank account. But that is a really good way of forcing you to save. You pay yourself before you pay anybody else. So that way you know that you're saving first, then you've got your core expenses paid for, and then your lifestyle goals will be taken care of in the amount of money that's left over in your normal bank account. There's 3 tips for you. Hope they're useful.